Hi everybody, welcome to another kids craft. Today we're going to be making a basketball game that you can make and play at home. Here's what you're going to need. First, you're going to need a clean, plain paper cup. Make sure you do get paper and not plastic. You're going to need a wooden bead. This one is 1 inch in diameter. You're going to need a piece of string or twine. You want it to be at least 12 inches. You probably want to cut it longer. That way, if you need to, you can cut it down to size. You just can't easily add more on. You're also going to need a stick. I'm going to be using a chopstick, but you can use like a dowel rod or a skewer, something like that, something that you can hold on to. You're going to need some tape or some glue. You can use hot glue if you want, but I'm going to use tape because that works just as well for this. You're going to need something to put a hole in your paper cup. I'm just going to use a sharp pencil because that usually works pretty good. You can use scissors or something like that. Just make sure you have an adult help you when we get to that part. And then you're going to need something to decorate your ball and your hoop with. So I just have some orange and black paint, some good basketball colors there, paintbrush to go with that. You can also use a permanent marker to add your lines for your ball and your net. That's what I think I'm going to do when we get to that step. Here's how we start. First things first, we're going to decorate our pieces before we assemble our game. So you're going to need your bead and your cup. So to start, paint your bead orange. Here's one that I have painted ahead of time. You're going to take your cup, again I've painted this one ahead of time, and paint a rim around the top. I just did mine in orange just because that's a little easier, but you can do this in red, blue, or whatever color you like for your basketball net. And set this aside for just a second. Now, once your orange paint is dry, you can use black paint, but I'm going to use a permanent marker to draw a basketball design on my bead. So to start, I'm just going to do one line all the way around, like that. We're going to draw a second line, so we're going to have like a cross, like an X right in the middle there. All the way around. Now the next part is a little tricky. It's kind of a circle, but it's got a little bump in the middle. So I'm going to start here, kind of curve it up and around and back down. So you can kind of see this kind of squiggly shape here. And do the same thing on the other side. Bring this up and back down. I don't quite meet, but that's okay. There we go. And then flip it over and do the same shape on the other side. Down and up, back down, and up, and back down. And that is a little tricky, so if you need to, you can look online at pictures of basketballs, or even better, if you have a real basketball at home, you can take a look and see how the lines work in real life. Side. Okay, and bring my cup back out. This is a little bit easier. So what you're going to do is start at the top and draw a diagonal line all the way down to the bottom. It's a little shaky, but that's okay. Just going to do this all the way around the cup, trying to keep them as evenly spaced as possible. Okay. Once you have your last line drawn, you notice you've got stripes going all the way around, start at the top. You started your first lines, and draw diagonal lines going in the opposite direction. Just do this all the way around. Remember, start at the point where your first diagonal line start. All the way down the bottom, and do this all the way around your cup. And there we have it. We have our basketball net, and our basketball. So next we will construct our game. All right, for this step, you are going to need your cup. You're going to need something to poke a hole. Again, I'm going to use a sharp pencil, but you can use scissors or something else, pointy like that. You're going to need your stick. I've got my chopstick here. You're going to need your tape or your hot glue. So near the bottom, make sure it's just above the bottom of the cup there. Carefully poke a hole. I'm going to do mine right here, where you want your stick to go. So do it close to the bottom as possible. I'm just going to push that in. There we go, got a nice hole there. Done with my pencil. Take my chopstick, just press it in, wiggle it around. If you need, you can get your pencil in there a little bit more. You do want to get it as close to the bottom without actually touching the bottom as you can. Just press your stick all the way through until it touches the end. You're going to want to keep that in place because if you don't, if this gets loose, your cup's going to spin around and it's going to make your game really hard to play. So I've just got some tape here. This is extra strong hold, but regular tape will work just fine. Take a little piece and just tape the stick to the bottom of the cup. If you're using hot glue, you can, just glue that to the bottom. There we go. I'm going to do one more piece, just give it a little bit of security there. Not going to wiggle around, and we're all good. Okay, next we're going to attach our basketball to the rest of our game. So take your twine or string and your basketball and thread it right on through. There you go. Give yourself enough to tie a knot, loop it around, and just knot that a couple times. Now this twine that I'm using here has been cut to 20 inches, but you can do a bit less. I've done one, I wouldn't go less than 12 inches, but there we go. Just make sure it's nice and tight. If you want a little more security, you can put a little dab of glue there, just kind of keep that in place. That's up to you. I'm not going to worry about it. The other end, I'm going to take my net here, still some space here, and tie it to the stick. It'll be a little tricky since you got the other end on there. And if you want to test it beforehand, I would just do a loose knot real quick. Give it a try. See if you like the length. If you like it, make sure you do your knot nice and tight. And again, you can put some glue there if you want. Once your knot is tied, again, you can put a little dab of glue there if you want to make sure you keep it in place. Your game is complete. The goal is, obviously, to get the ball into the net with only one hand. So I don't have a lot of space to demonstrate this, so let me adjust my camera real quick and I can give you a better demonstration. Okay, now that I've got some more space under my camera here, here's one I made earlier. This one has a little bit of a shorter string, just to make it a little easier for you to see what's going on. So the goal of the game is to get the basketball into the net by holding on to only the stick. Let's give it a couple swings until you get it. Oops. Into the net, like that. Do be mindful of who and what is around you. Make sure you don't hit anybody or anything while you're playing your game. There you go. You can, again, put a little bit of glue right here to prevent your knot from coming loose. And I did put a tiny bit of tape on the end there just to keep my twine from moving around. And there you have it. You can see how many you can get in a certain amount of time, or challenge your friends and family to a basketball shoot-off. Thank you for joining us for this month's Kids Craft, and we will see you next time.